Back to Larry's Anything Goes. It's another beautiful day to be alive. It is Thursday. The weekend's almost here, so it's all good. I'm a happy man in that aspect. Okay, today's word of the day is assemble. Stands for to bring or to gather, gather together, to fit together the parts of whatever it may be. I.e., if you're putting together a bedroom set, if you're putting together a home, if you're putting together a car, if you're putting together a friendship, putting together a relationship. These things, they always vary. But the reason why I chose that word today, because I think what always makes us better as a collective and as a society is if we're always constantly working on something. Too much leisure time, and I'm guilty of this, can numb the brain, just like alcohol can. Too much leisure time doesn't allow us to challenge ourselves physically, mentally, spiritually. So a lot of people, they meditate from a spiritual perspective. People meditate, they go to church. Nowadays in digital society, people attend more church online than ever in history because of the internet and because of during the COVID lockdown, a lot of people just got used to doing certain things at the house and working out at the house, attending church at the house, working at home. Hey, quality of life matters the most. And that's what it taught a lot of working people. Hey, my quality of life means more to me than having a superficial title. You know what I mean? So, but putting things together keeps everybody sharp. That's why a lot of times people who quote unquote retire, who actually have enough money to retire, which I think that's becoming a thing of the past. But people who do, they find stuff to do. They don't just sit at home and sit on the internet. So much social media can drive anybody insane, or just make you numb, or just make you want to sleep after a minute. That's just what it is. If the pandemic didn't teach us that, nothing will. All right. So it's best to stay active as much as possible, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Always have something to do. Always have some place to go, because that's what makes life worth living. All right, today's quote of the day is by A$AP Rocky. He says, I deserve to be happy. F all this BS. I could not agree with that statement more. The biggest money move that anybody can have in this life is to be happy. I was listening to Barbara Cochran, who's one of the sharks in the Shark Tank, who's a millionaire, probably billionaire at this point, real estate mogul, entrepreneurial, and venture capitalist. You name it, she's done it. But she said the main reason why most of her companies have been successful is because of the atmosphere that she created. Her main thing was, hey, it was, back when, in the 80s and 90s, it was considered to be unpopular to have dress up days, wear costumes, wear pajamas, wear your favorite sports teams, have goofy events, do more than just have a Christmas party like most companies do. Make the atmosphere fun to be in, because if you have a fun, robust working environment, you're going to have people that are more loyal. Because that's the thing, all the studies in the world, it doesn't take a case study to figure out what makes for a great work environment for anybody. Are the people happy? Like, working hard is one thing, absolutely, but is the atmosphere pleasant? Are the people pleasant to be around? You're going to be around each other 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day. Is the atmosphere pleasant to be around? Am I in a learning atmosphere? Or am I constantly being surrounded by douchebags that think they're better than everybody? I made a video years ago before the pandemic called the douchebag complex of the DMV area, because I'm from the DMV area. And a lot of people have this mindset, whether it's DC, Maryland, or Northern Virginia, that I'm so special. I have all these degrees. I did XYZ. I'm so special. I have this rank. I'm so special. And a lot of times they don't have a life outside of their job. Their job is the bane of their existence. And to me, that's the saddest thing on the freaking planet. But that's just my personal opinion. So with that being said, I'm so special. I'm the best of I know everything. No one can teach me anything. Blah blah blah. And unfortunately, people with that douchebag complex mindset end up becoming managers, whether it's a corporation, a government office, federal, state, local, doesn't matter. They end up 9 times out of 10 they end up becoming managers. And a lot of these entities, whether it's private sector or public sector, they have all these trainings for managers. So I think the trainings are great and robust because they're teaching you how to be an efficient manager from an administrative capacity. But at the end of the day, if you have a douchebag, you could have all the degrees in the world. You could score off the charts when it comes to your IT. If you have a douchebag complex, sometimes people's skills can't be taught. I can't put like you can't, and you can try to hide being a douchebag, but eventually it's going to come out. The real you will come out eventually because it's very exhausting to not be who you are. It's one thing to be professional, but there's a lot of professional douchebags. You know, they might not cuss you out, but they spur out demeaning words to their employees or their co-workers on a regular basis without raising their voices and without, you know, dropping any slurs or things of that nature. So that's why I said, and with that, they create hostile work environments to where people don't want to stay there. So all the trainings in the world cannot change somebody's mindset of being a complete douchebag. And that's the thing that people just don't understand. Well, they understand, but they're not going to do anything about that because it's all about productivity. So on that note, do the great three things, like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Make money moves or you're going to live like a fool. Take care.